What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna finally talk about my weight loss transformation, and I hope that you're able to take away some things that will help you accomplish whatever goal you're hoping to hit soon. If you're here now, you probably found me on social media, maybe Instagram or Facebook, where I show a lot of pictures of myself, my before and afters, just to show people that it's possible to make a crazy transformation if you stay consistent and motivated. So before I get into any of the specifics of what I did the year that I really saw a lot of growth in my transformation, I want to kind of go into my backstory and just talk about some of the reasons why I even gained so much weight in the first place, and what led up to me actually needing to buckle down and really just get right with my fitness and my nutrition. So I played football in high school, started my 9th grade year. By the time I got to my junior year, I had really started to excel. And going into my senior year, I was a starting offensive line. Now, while I was playing offensive line, I was weighing roughly around 245, 250, which, as most people know, is pretty undersized at that position. However, I was able to keep up my athletic abilities. I was really quick off the ball, and so I definitely did, do a good job of maintaining that position and doing well at it. Now, of course, playing offensive line at 250 in college is a different story. So starting my freshman year of college, I quickly noticed that I was very small, and instead of changing positions, I attempted to grow into that role. And so a lot of people have heard of what they call freshman 15. For me, it was more like a freshman 20, freshman 25. I gained a lot of weight in a short amount of time. Didn't really see a lot of strength gains. Instead, I noticed that I was getting really out of shape. A lot of my athletic skills were diminishing, and I just wasn't able to keep up in practice, not even with like the simple drills. I found myself like breathing really heavy, very slow off the ball. And eventually, man, it just got to a point where I was just like, dang, like I cannot keep up in practice. As soon as I put these pads on, it's like I'm having a hard time just moving. Those changes were definitely not good for me. I wasn't doing it the right way. And there were also other factors playing into just my diminishing skills on the field. As you know, a college freshman, definitely not sleeping as well as I should have been, which is a really important factor when you're trying to stay healthy. You got to get your rest. Partying, drinking. There were just a lot of things that I was doing to my body that at the time I didn't realize were hampering my ability to burn calories and really just stay in shape. So the type of look that I carry all throughout high school just really started to change. And I went from having what a lot of people would have considered a really muscular build to just developing a lot of belly fat and just really just blowing up. And it just got to a point where I was just like, screw this, man. I'm done with football. Don't want to keep playing. I just got like really discouraged. I eventually, left the school, went back home to refocus and just kind of get my mind right as far as like what I wanted to do with myself. And that led me to going back to a different school, closer to my hometown. Wasn't partying and drinking as hard as I was, my freshman year. But I was still out of shape. I was still really big, and I just didn't know what to do to get myself back on track. And I think kind of like the big wow moment was around 2014 when I stepped on the scale. And for the first time in my life, man, I was over 300 pounds. As a matter of fact, I think that year I got up to close to 330. Yeah, man, I was like, whoa, I'm huge. I'm not playing sports anymore. I tried to play for the new school I was at, made the team, super out of shape. That didn't last. And it's just like, bro, you're huge. You've blown up. You're no longer as athletic as you were. And I mean, even though the strength was still there, it's like, what good is it for me anyway? It's like, what good is it to just be this strong, but just look like really big? I was having to lift my belly up in the shower to, bathe myself, having to lift my chest up, rolls. I could literally hide stuff in my stomach. It was crazy, man. And so I did get motivated to get back in the gym, particularly the YMCA, where I was talking with different trainers there, and they were giving me ideas for ways to kind of lose weight quickly. One of which was to go vegetarian. So I did go vegetarian for a year. Was also told to cut carbs as well, so just kind of like cut bread. That lasted a couple months, but eventually I did end up back, eating a lot of bread. The year I went vegetarian, I noticed that I was losing weight, but I wasn't necessarily developing into the type of body that I wanted. So for me, I was what I would say skinny fat. I lost a lot of weight that year. I got back under 300 pounds. I will honestly say I maybe got around to about 260, like back down to around 260, maybe even 250, but the weight was, the weight was still there, unnecessarily, the fat was still there. I wasn't muscular. I was just very, heavy in this section right here. And so I wasn't feeling that look. I started back eating the way I normally ate, and I picked up a lot of that weight back and ended up getting back up to close to maybe like 270. And so by this time, it's 2017. My weight has just been fluctuating between 270, 290 for the past couple of years. And I was just like, man, there has to be something that I can do to keep it, not only lose the weight, but keep this weight off. I'm a very big movie buff, and I just noticed that a lot of these guys that are in these action roles, particularly a lot of the guys in the Marvel movies and stuff like that, were coming from all these different like movie roles where they were not necessarily muscular, but they had to get muscular and get in shape for various roles. And so what I started to do was, going into 2018, was researching a lot of what these guys were doing to lose that weight. Like, how are they going from being like overweight to really cut and really muscular in such a short amount of time? And once I really peeked into that world, that's when my eyes kind of opened to macronutrients, to the different types of training there are, not just strength, but hypertrophy. Just a lot of different ways to train your body, where it's more so tailored to your specific body type, as opposed to just going to the gym and just lifting the gym and leaving. So I downloaded a fitness tracker app, MyFitnessPal, and I created a workout plan kind of based around the different plans that I found online. I think one was maybe the 7x7 workout plan that Jason Momoa used. Research guys like Chris Hemsworth. I researched guys like Chris Pratt. Like all of these different guys that were in these action movie roles that just looked like the ideal body type that I wanted in my head. And so once I was able to get all of that information together, I just kind of created a workout plan that worked for me. The splits, the length of the workout itself, like what can I do to go to the gym to get the most out of my exercise time. And so once I was able to develop that for myself, it was just a matter of sticking to it, just being consistent, tracking my macros day to day, making sure that I was staying at a calorie deficit, which is very important. I can touch on that in another video, particularly just why it's so important to make sure that, you're burning more energy than you are bringing in, because at the end of the day, that's one of the foundations of weight loss. And so once I was able to maintain a calorie deficit, along with the workout plan that was tailored specifically for the way that I wanted to look, it just started to really fall into place. And at the beginning of 2018 and onward, I just saw my body start to really change and transform. Like, no joke, every single month there was a change, a transition. Like, my chest was becoming more full, my arms were cut, my stomach was just literally disappearing as I trained. But not only was I losing the weight, which I had done before, but I was starting to see my body really become something that I hadn't seen since high school, and even better, to be honest. And so by the end of 2018, I had got down to 195, which is literally the leanest I had been since, I don't know, I want to say maybe even middle school, because even all throughout high school, I was up above 200 pounds. And so this for me was just like a huge milestone. Now, mind you, by then I was eating at a significant calorie deficit. And so I have definitely picked up a lot of weight since then. I'm about 230 right now, but a very healthy 230. And so if you are going to take anything away from this video, this first video, because I definitely plan to drop more content soon. But what I want you to take away from this video are these key things right here. The first thing being, nothing will work unless you do. So no matter whether you're doing keto, which I've tried, high protein, low protein, I don't know, man, whatever they make out there that's new, if you try something, it will work. Because the foundation of a lot of those different plans is, cutting calories, cutting carbs, whatever. But the biggest thing is just consistency, like sticking with it. Even when you aren't seeing the results right away, just understand that the more days you put into achieving your goal, the more you're likely to actually hit it. So don't give up after you haven't seen anything happen in a week or even a month or 2 months. Your body's just fighting back because it's not used to that. And eventually it's going to give in, and you're just going to start to see these changes to start to kind of take place. Just keep going. I would say number 2 is trust the process. Like, trust yourself. Please understand, if you are following a set plan and you're really just putting in the work to accomplish that, it will happen. It will come into fruition. You will see that plan start to take shape. So trust the process, trust yourself, trust whatever plan is set in place, whether it's by your trainer, whether it's by yourself, whether you've done the research like I did, and also, talk to a lot of very knowledgeable guys, and you're able to compile something together that you feel like will help you. Trust that process. Like, don't get discouraged because you don't see it happen right away. If you're consistent, you'll see it. And once you start to see the first glimpses of a change, of a transition, it's going to become addicting. You're going to want to keep going, and then you're really going to start to see a lot more changes. So just trust the process. Number 3 is definitely just stay motivated. You'll see online where people talk about how discipline is more important than motivation, and I definitely agree. Building up discipline is very important because you're not going to be motivated all the time. But in the beginning, there's a reason why you wanted to accomplish this goal, whether it's to get healthy, whether you're just trying to obtain a revenge body from a breakup, I don't know. There are going to be reasons that kind of fuel your desire to hit this goal. You have to use those to fuel you. Like, some days you may not want to go, but just think about what motivated you in the beginning and just go and get it done. And hopefully over time, that motivation will breed discipline. So even on the days you don't want to actually go and take care of business, it's like, well, I know I have to because I'm trying to achieve this particular goal. So I need to go and do this even if I don't want to. But I would definitely say in the beginning, it's totally fine to use that motivation as fuel. Of course, build up the discipline, but just understand why you started and use that and keep going until maybe you even forget what started you in the first place. But by then it's a lifestyle. So it's like, now you don't want to stop. And I mean, why should you?